What's up, family? Man, I've struggled with this video, with this topic, for a while. You know, I've gone back and forth on whether or not I was going to actually do this video. I attempted to do it the other day, and it just didn't feel like it was time to do it. I woke up early this morning. You know, it's time. It's time. We're talking about the greatest psychological book to me ever written. You know, um, again, it's the greatest psychological book to me ever written. And it's weird because just by me saying that, the great majority of people aren't even going to understand or have any idea of what book I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And it's weird because there's so many people that have read this book that have take issue with psychology. You know what I mean? There's so many people that read this book that have a issue, that have a problem with psychology. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. Okay? One of my favorite movies, um, The Book of Eli, you know. Um, man, I love that movie. You know what I mean? And I'm actually surprised that Hollywood put that movie out. This movie, um, end of the world scenario, just a few people surviving, and this one guy has control over the gang. He has control over the weapons. He has control over the food. He has control over the people. He has control over the water. He controls everything in that area. Okay? He's sending his people out to go find a book. These people can't read, but he's sending them out to find a book, a particular book. And all they're coming back with books and books and books because again they had a great big book burning. You know what I mean? And it is interesting how humanity always goes through this cycle of trying to dumb down everybody. Always goes through this cycle of burning off books. Books that can help you, books that can free your mind. Humanity always goes through this period, this cycle of eliminating those books from the masses. Okay? Stay with me, we're going somewhere. And so he's sending these guys out, these armed militia, gangs, out to go find this particular book. And they're coming back and coming back with all these different books. Some of them are classics, you know. Some of them are great self help books, but none of them were the book that he was looking for. And so they're getting his right hand man is like, man, why do you have to have this book? You got everything. Why do you have to have this one book? You know, and and the leader tells this guy, because with the book I can control their minds. Stay with me. With this book I can reach the heart of them, you know, and I can control their minds. He's controlling everything. He has control over all the water, the food, everything. But he really don't have control over their mind. But with this book, he knows that he can control their mind. And he talks about how it's been done before and it'll be done again. This book, it's the number one selling book of all time. And yet, the great majority of people have no idea idea of the psychological aspects of this book. You know what I mean? We're talking about the Bible. The Bible. And it's weird because I grew up in an age where the church, Jesus, all you need is Jesus. Jesus is the answer for everything. You know what I mean? And they looked at psychology as a sin. They looked at psychology as the enemy of the church. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And now we've evolved some. You know what I mean? And you can hear people talking about, man, psychology in church, and how it's needed. But they'll say, man, but you also need, you know, Christ, and you need this and da you know. And so the church has evolved a little, not much, a little, like un poquito, that little, you know what I mean? Very little. Um, talking about the Bible. And most people never understand that if you looked at the Bible from the perspective of it being a psychological book, they look at it as history. They look at it as um, the Old Testament is all just history, just stories that have no freaking bearing on our lives whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. To where most people don't even talk about the Old Testaments anymore. You know what I mean? Most people don't even read the Old Testaments anymore. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. If they do read the Old Testament, they read Psalms, they read Proverbs, they every one of them read Malachi 3:10. You know what I mean? And that's where it's talking about bring you all the tithes into the storehouse. Every church reads that one. You know what I mean? If they do read the Old Testament, that's what they're gonna read. You know what I mean? But most of them just read the New Testament. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. It's interesting how all the people in the Old Testament, all the people in the New Testament, there are different psychological aspects of our psychological personalities. I'm going to say that again. If you look at everybody in the Old Testament, if you look at the Old Testament, if you look at the New Testament and see it from a psychology standpoint, you'll see and recognize that all of the main characters in the Old Testament, all of the characters in the New Testaments are psychological aspects or psychological um, figures of our own psychological aspects, of our own psychological identities. You know what I mean? Stay with me. We're about to get deep. Okay? And we miss that because we get fixated on the story, we get fixated on the person, we get fixated on the person, we get fixated on the identity, and we miss the depth of it. We miss the deeper understandings of it. Interesting. Jesus said quite often, to him that have ears to hear, let him hear. He's standing right there with the people. He know that they hear him. But he was talking about something deeper. He was talking on a deeper level. And I know so many of the Christians now are religious people. Like, he was talking about spiritually. To them, they have spiritual ears, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's our answer. That's your answer. It goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than that. And what I mean by that is you have to understand, you have to be able to see yourself in those people. You have to see your own personality traits in those people. You have to see that those people were just stories about you. All of those people were stories about you. That's David. That's you. Samson. That's you. Solomon. That's you. Job. That's you. All of those people. That's you. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul, Simon, Peter, all of them. It's you. It's you. It's different aspects of your different personality traits. Because you are every single one of them. You have been every single one of them. And what do I mean? I'm talking about not you as an individual, being them individually, but their personality. It's you. That's your personality. That's been your personality. That is your personality. And it's a trip because we talk about the begats, and people don't want to get into the Old Testaments because of the begats. And you look at the genealogy of Jesus. It always talks about the begats, and he begot this person. But why? Why is that so significant? Why is that so important? Because we don't have a clue who the heck we are. We have no understanding of who we are. We know who our grandma is, but we have no understanding of who we are. We might know who our great grandma and great grandpa is, but we don't know who we are. And so when you look at it from the perspective, man, they're telling you that understand who you are, understand where you came from. And I'm not just talking about who my daddy is, where my daddy people come from, where my mama people come. I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about deeper. It's deeper than that. We want to jump to the New Testament without ever understanding the Old Testament. Everybody now want to be a boss. Everybody now want to be a king. Everybody now want to be a queen. Everybody now want to be some super leader, want to be this person right here. And they have no clue who the heck they are. They have no clue why they are the way they are. You can't get to the new without understanding the old. You can't walk into your new life. You can't walk into your new promise. You can't become your best version, the best version of yourself without understanding the old version of yourself. Without understanding why you act the way you do, why you respond the way you do, why you think the way you do. And stop just saying, man, that's just who I am. No, it's deeper than that. Understand that. Stop just talking about, man, my daddy had anger issues, my mama had anger issues, and whoop de whoop doop, and that's just who he is. And man, my grandpa had a drinking problem, my daddy had a drinking problem, that's why I got a drinking problem. No, no, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. And we always want to say, man, the devil, the devil, the devil, the devil made me do it. The devil made me do that. The devil's making me do that. The devil's did it. Man, shut up with that stupid, petty foolishness. The devil ain't making you do nothing. The devil can't make you do nothing. That's your answer for everything. Because you don't have to accept responsibility for it. That's your answer for everything. Because you don't want to have to do your own research and go back in and study and figure out some stuff. So it's easy to say the devil. The devil didn't make you pick up that bottle. The devil didn't bring that girl into your house. The devil didn't have nothing to do with what you and that girl was doing in your bed, or whoopty what you and that guy was doing in your bed. The devil had nothing to do with you stealing that money. The devil didn't make you steal that money. You know what I mean? The devil can't make you do anything. All it can do is offer you a suggestion. Just like God ain't gonna make you do anything. We don't know who we are. We have no clue who we are. We have no clue of what the Bible even represents. We look at it as a religious book. We've made it a religious book. And the truth is, we've taken all the power out of that book. And we've taken the power out of that book because we don't understand the book. It blows me away how many people sit in church on a weekly basis, year after year, with all of the trauma, all of the psychological issues that they've carried since childhood, that they've carried since their broken marriage, that they've carried since the loss of a loved one, whatever transpired in their life. They carry this baggage, they carry these wounds year after year, decade after decade, and they're reading the best psychological book ever written. They talk about the best psychological book ever written. And it's interesting to me how so many people get up talking, preaching, teaching, and the people walk out just as frustrated, feeling just as hopeless, just as down and out as they did as when they walked in. Oh, it's a great hype now. Church has become a great hype. And that's all it's become. Is a great hype. Because that's what we made it. We'll come in, we'll sing songs, and we'll get emotionally caught up. And man, I feel this, you know what I mean? And we get in a move, you know what I mean? And then somebody get up and they'll give a fiery sermon, you know, it's all emotional. It's a great emotional sermon. Man, it has you pumped up. It has you pumped up just like Rocky had so many guys pumped up after the movie. You know, you watch a good movie and you were entertained. It's like, oh my God, you leave, man, that movie was da 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 da. You telling everybody about the movie. You calling everybody, man, you gotta go see this movie. Blah da da da. And the trip is, most people are more entertained from a movie than they are from church. Most people are more impacted by a movie than they are by church. When you leave church, most people, oh man, they sung this song, man, this song did something to me. Oh man, gosh, this song did about this song. You know, what was the sermon about? Oh, the sermon was about this. Oh, I don't remember what the sermon was about. Oh, they said this. Oh, they said this. They said that. And it's like, there's no impact there. There's no life changing impact there. If it was, oh, it was emotional. Oh, it got you all fired up. Until you got in your car and got that stupid text message. Until you got in your car and got that phone call. Until you went down the road and somebody cut you off. Until somebody made you miss the light. All that emotional hype is gone now. Why? Because there's no life changing impact. There's nothing been said, nothing been done that's bringing true revelation to you. It's emotional. It feels good. It sounds good. But it ain't changing anything. And sometimes we do change. You know what I mean? Sometimes we do. Man, I want to change. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And that's great. But that's not the majority of the cases. That's rare. If the truth be told. When I was a kid, they used to say, man, you come in church a wet devil and you walk out a dry devil. What they were saying was, man, you ain't changed. You sat here for a few hours. You gave some money. You shouted. You spoke in tongues. You did whatever you did, but you walking out the same way you came in. I talk a lot about the mind. I talk a lot about changing our perspectives because nothing is going to happen for us until we learn to change our perspectives on whatever it is that we want to change. If you're overweight, you're not going to get in shape until you change your perspective. If you can't handle finances, you're not going to become a money guru until you change your perspective about money management. If you're a drug addict or alcoholic or whatever, you're not going to change until you change your perspective of how you deal with your issues, of how you what you do with your time. We have to change our perspectives. We have to start taking things deeper. We have to start going to the heart of the matter. We have to stop looking at these books the same way we've always looked at them. We have to stop looking at the Bible the same way we've always looked at them. Stop looking at them the same way your grandma and your grandpa and your great grandma and your great grandpa and your aunties and your uncles and all them other people looked at the Bible. You have to stop looking at it the same way that they did. You have to change your perspective about it. It's interesting because I know so many people say all you need is the Bible. You don't need anything else but the Bible. And yet they have anger management, anger issues. You know what I mean? Yet they still have trauma that they're carrying from their childhood. And I'm talking about people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. I ain't talking about the you young generation that just came on the scene. I'm talking about people that grew up in church. I'm talking about people that's been around the Bible 30, 40 years, 50, 60 years. Know every scripture, know all the books of the Bible. Got all these scriptures memorized. But they have no freaking power. They have no power to change anything about their life. They have no power and have had no power to change and to resolve and deal with the trauma that they've carried since they first came into church. or since they've experienced since they've been in church. I'm not against church. I'm not against the Bible. We have to grow up. We have to grow up spiritually. And I don't care how long you've been in church. Just because you've been in church and you the deacon, the head deacon, you that head bishop or whatever, don't mean you got it figured out. If you've been in church 20, 30, 40 years, 10 years, it's crazy because you could go to school for 8, 10 years and have a doctorate degree. Have a doctorate degree. Y'all been in church 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years and still don't understand who the heck you are. Still don't understand why you still carrying that drama. Still don't understand why you mad and angry. Still don't understand why you ain't got a man, why you can't keep a man, why you ain't got a woman, why you can't keep a woman. Still don't understand why you so insecure, why you don't really like yourself. And so you mask it with overeating. You mask it with super spirituality. And you talking, oh, I'm just too anointed. I'm just too Holy Ghost filled for them. And man, shut up with that stupid stuff. Again, to each their own. Do you? You know what I mean? Do you? Do you? At some point, in order to grow, in order to go to the next level, we're going to have to start growing up emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. You can't keep doing the same thing expecting different results. From my understanding, and I don't know it all, but from my understanding, doing the same thing and expecting different results is insanity. It's the textbook definition of being insane. So if you've been doing this for years, God help us. You know what I mean? God help us. And it's interesting because the great majority of those people are the most self-righteous, judgmental people in the world. The great majority of those people that's been in church all them years are the most dogmatic people in the world. If you ain't doing it this way, if you ain't baptized this way, if you ain't got this type of Bible, if you ain't doing da da da, if you eating da 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 da, if you drinking da da da, man, they're the most self-righteous, judgmental, dogmatic people in the world. And yet they have never figured out how to resolve their own issues. Yet they've never resolved or understood who the heck they really are. And so it becomes a money thing. It becomes a power thing. Or I'm deacon, da da da. I'm bishop, da da da. You know what I mean? I got titles. And you still don't know who you are. You still don't know why you're here. You still haven't been able to resolve your issues. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. My hope and prayer is that we will humble ourselves and get out of our ego and stop thinking that we have this all figured out. And stop thinking that we know it all. And that if we don't do it this way, then man, you know what I mean? We gotta let that go. We have to let that go. Man, we have to let that go, family. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. I don't even know what else to say. You know what I mean? Honestly, I don't. Man, there's so much more I want to say. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.